video, I show you how to play a classic by Creedence Clearwater Revival. This one's perfect for beginners. We got a little Bad Moon Rising. Welcome back to Relax and Learn Guitar. I'm Kevin, and this is Maggie May, getting her treats out of the way. My wife Vicky's behind the camera.
Hello.
We're here to give you another easy-to-play, great-sounding guitar song, so let's get started. So we got some Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I love this song, especially for beginners. We've got 3 easy open chords we're going to play in this version. We've got a G chord. And it's important to note that the 6th string is the bass or the root note of this G chord. That's going to come into play here in a bit. Then we have an A chord. The root or bass note of the A chord is the 5th string. You'll see me play this one a lot just with my index finger, barring strings 4, 3, and 2. And then we have a D chord. And that one is a 4th string root. For my free song lesson bundle, check out the link in the description. I've got 3 classic rock songs complete with the chords and the tablature. Enjoy that one. This one's got a little bit of pep to it. We're familiar with that iconic opening. We're going to slow this one way down. I'm going to break it down into, there's really kind of little patterns depending on the chord you're playing. So it's not so much like for the whole song, but this intro really sets up the rest of the song. So we're going to focus on this D chord first. And remember, the D chord has a 4th string root. We're really just worried about the 4th string down. You don't need to worry about the strings 5 and 6. So this D for the beginning of the song, and the only time during the song, is a down, down, up, down. And see how I'm just playing those 4 strings? Okay. Then we immediately go to the A chord for a bass down, and that's why it's important to remember those bass notes. This A chord is a 5th string root, so we're playing the open 5th string, and then immediately a down strum. We're going to repeat the same thing with this G, except the G is a 6th string root, so we're going to make this G shape.
And there's a lot of roots.
Yeah, it's a lot of roots. And then this G root, you have the 6th string, and then a down strum. There we go. My fingers were in the way. And so from the top, we have... Just do that over and over and annoy all your friends and neighbors.
Slow it down a little.
All right. All right, so that's the kind of core, and then back to a D chord. And for this D chord, I guess if I was going to say there is a strum pattern for this song, it's this D pattern that we follow. It's the bass note first. Remember, that's the 4th string for this D chord. So you have bass, down, up, down, up. Bass, down, up, down, up. If you're finding this lesson helpful and you like it, make sure and click the like button. That really helps us out and helps more folks on YouTube see the video. So from the top, you have down, down, up, down, bass, down, bass, down, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down, up. Okay? Now, the cool thing is once you've gotten that first, that's what gets everyone's attention. We all remember like the beginnings of songs. You could play that and people would be like, that's Creedence. But after you do that on that D chord, the rest of this time through this song, whenever you're playing that D, we're going to go back to the bass, down, up pattern. Okay? So after that intro, we're going into the verse, and the verse is the same chord progression as the intro. So we have the D chord with the strum pattern. Then we have that A. Every time you see the A, you're going to go bass down, and the G is bass down. That's true for all the verses, not the chorus. So we have D, bass down, D, twice. And that just keeps repeating over and over. And where I see some folks that are starting out get a little hung up on this song is the first part of that D strum pattern in that bass note. Because you're having to kind of be particular. You're hitting one individual string before you play the rest of the riff. If that's giving you a bunch of trouble and hanging you up, you can replace that first bass strum with a down strum. So it's going to sound like this. Doesn't sound bad, just sounds a little more like the record using that bass note on that D. So follow along with me here for the verse. I usually like to sing and play the guitar at the same time. However, sometimes I can't do that here on YouTube. So I'm going to do this one and just kind of talk about the chords and the patterns for you here. So for this verse, starts on that D. I, C, A, down, G, down, D. Twice. I, C, A, G, D. Again. I see earthquakes and lightning. D, A, G, D. And then we come to the chorus here. We're going to start on a G. Things get a little different here. We're going to be playing 2 strum patterns for this G chord. As you see, same pattern. Bass, down, up, up. So it's G twice, D twice. Then we're going to play the A chord again, but this time it's going to get the strum pattern. And remember the 5th string root for that A chord. Bass, down, up, to the G. Bass, down, up, to the D twice. So you can follow along with me here with the lyrics and the chords here on the screen, and I'll kind of focus on the changes and the patterns here for you. So we start on that G, it gets 2 patterns. This is the don't go around tonight part. So you have bass, down, up, twice, to a D, twice, then the A 1 time, the G 1 time, and the D 2 times. And one more little embellishment that you can try here is using a little bit of palm muting, especially for that A and the G back in that verse. So remember we have that D. If you slightly palm mute the A and the G part of the verse, I just think it sounds a little more like the record. So when you're palm muting, you're using the fat part of your palm here, and you're resting it directly on your strings of your guitar, back by your bridge. So you have this kind of action. You don't want to be too close to the sound hole or too far back to the bridge. You kind of play with your guitar a little bit and find that sweet spot. But you have this without palm muting. And if you slightly palm mute the A and the G, you get this. Yeah, it's a little more punch. Next, check out this classic Creedence song, a little Have You Seen the Rain? One of my favorite songs by them. Yes. Check out that song lesson next. Thank you so much for checking out Relax on Guitar. Vicky and Maggie and I are very much appreciative of your support here, and we'll see you for the next lesson. Remember that you're never too old to learn.
Take care.